welcome to another Mission Models video installment. Today's tutorial will be using the Mission Models Chrome, that's MMC 001, and the Mission Models MMGBB 001, which is Mission Models Gloss Black Base. In today's tutorial, we're going to go through the basics. Now what we've done is we've prepared and prepped some of these parts here with the Mission Models Gloss Black Base. We have this 707 from Rodin, and what we've done is we've also sprayed a white base and a gloss black base, as you can see. So we will be moving on to this later on in the video to show tonality and what happens when you shoot chrome over different types of bases. Now, one thing about the gloss black base is that you really need to let it dry. It needs to dry a good 6 hours, 8 hours. Overnight is best, because when you take your chrome and you spray your chrome over gloss black base, you do not want to risk re-wetting the gloss black base. If you re-wet the gloss black base, what's going to happen is you're going to muddy your chrome. Using the chrome is very, very easy. It's water-based. We can clean it up with water. It's odorless. It's basically non-toxic, easy to use, very, very durable, and will give you a very, very convincing finish. So let's get started. So here's what's going to happen. First off, there's no need to thin the chrome. There's no need to add poly to it. Use it straight from the bottle. It's ready to go. I'm going to shake it up. Flip the cap. And we've been using this harder Steenbeck airbrush, this Infinity with a 0.2. And we're basically just going to squirt some right into the bottle. Into the cup of the airbrush. The chrome is very, very thin. So keep our airbrush clean, wipe off anything that we may have spilled off the side of the cup, and always test, because you may have cleaned out your airbrush, and same thing, you don't want to have residual water or thinner in the cavity of your airbrush, so just kind of spray a little bit through. We're spraying again at a low PSI, about 10 to 15. We'll do these two parts first. So here we go. About 10 to 15 PSI, light coats, mist it on. The ideal way to go is to let each coat dry. You can kind of see what's happening here. So we'll lay that there, and we'll take our spinner. And you can build up 20, 30 coats. The more patient you are, the better the finish. So we're going to let this dry for a moment. We'll be right back. All right, so we've let this, our first mist coats dry, and we're going to do another pass. Nice quick passes. And we tend to go fast in these videos. Get our spinner here, spray it on in random pattern, kind of dust it on. As the chrome dries, it will continue to get brighter and brighter and brighter. Okay, so these two parts have been drying for a moment off camera. And another thing that you can do with our chrome is you can dry buff it between coats if you like, just nice and light. We're using a soft microfiber cloth here. Gently bring out additional shine. When you do that, you start to polish the chrome, and then the next coats will be even brighter. Now, we know a lot of people will use gloss black base for the chrome. One thing you want to remember is that when you use a black base, you end up with a darker finish. You can spray chrome over any type of base coat. It can be white, it can be gray, it can be red, and whatever you spray it over will give you a different look. So we're going to do one more quick coat here. You want to be cautious. because if you apply too heavy, what's going to happen is you're going to cancel out any kind of reflection or chrome finish, and you're going to end up with silver paint if you start going on too heavy. As you can see, how that's starting to reflect. And that's over black. Black will always give you a darker chrome finish. So next up, we've got this 707 fuselage from Rodin. The kit has some weird texture in the top of it. We're not really sure why. We don't know if it's actually on the real airplane or what, but it is what it is. So we've basically masked this off. We sprayed our gloss black base to show a little bit of separation. Let's tape off. And we got a little bit of bleed through here, but you know, it's not going to make a difference for really what we're doing. Okay, so we've got our fuselage, and we're basically just going to go ahead and paint it. See what happens. Same method, but basically the point is to show what the chrome is going to look like over white versus black. So let's get going. We're spraying between 10-15 psi. Nice even passes from a distance. The chrome will take longer to build up over white because the chrome is basically a lighter color. And we're going to let this dry off camera for a few minutes. You want to just go light coats in various directions. All right, so we've let this dry for about 10 minutes off camera. You can see my hands are getting covered in chrome. When we spray this cup through, then we'll show you how to clean the chrome out of the airbrush. But again, always test. And here we go. Nice even passes. Be patient. Again, your chrome finish is only as good as your base coat. So if you're going to be priming first, you're going to want to sand your primer nice and smooth. You want it to be flawless. Chrome will show all and any flaws in your work. Even though our chrome is very, very easy to use, you still need to do the work. So we're going to let this dry, but in the meantime, we're going to clean the airbrush. We'll show you how to clean the chrome out of it. Water. Again, the spray bottle we always use. Water. Spray it through. What's nice about the chrome is that it's extremely durable. It's odorless. It's pretty much foolproof. You're not going to be spraying toxins in the air, lacquer fumes, any of that kind of stuff. It's totally family friendly. Extremely easy to use. It's clean. Now, as usual, we'll take a little bit of our thinner, spray that through. It's clean. Yep, clean. And always pull the trigger back. Wipe off your tools. Keep them clean. Save yourself heartache later. That's it. Wipe it down. Be careful of your needle. That's it. Okay, so we've been letting this dry off camera, and while we're cleaning the airbrush. And so what we're going to do again is we're going to fill up the cup of the airbrush. Try and be tidy. Again, the chrome is a lot thinner than the other paints and products. So let's move this out of the way so we don't have any accidents. Okay. Again, as always, spray through. Make sure you don't have any residue. Extra thinner, water, because that will reflect in your finish. Just spray it through. And here we go. You can see the difference between the white base and the black base. You can see how much brighter it is. Now you will go through a lot of chrome because you're basically dusting it on. And we'll probably end up taking another break here in a second to allow things to dry. You don't need to sit here and watch it dry. All right, we're gonna let that dry. Okay, so we've been letting this dry on the side there. And again, it's all about patience. If you go too heavy, you're gonna turn it into silver paint. You're gonna lose your chrome effect. Just go different angles. Hear the airbrush stop. And we're gonna add a little bit more paint off the camera, so then that way don't spill it, because like I said, it's very, very thin and it can easily run down the cup of the airbrush. Again, quick test. Light, dusted coats. Use your best judgment. We can't do this for you, but we can show you the basic principles. Like we always say, modeling is about taking your time, it's about experimenting, it's about testing, seeing what works best for you. And you heard that noise, that means we were out of paint. And we'll add a little bit more. Off camera, over the trash can. Again, the chrome is very, very thin. Now, one thing we've mentioned before is you do not need to thin it down. It's ready to go right out of the bottle. No need to add any poly, anything like that. The longer the chrome dries, the more durable it becomes. It's very forgiving, very, very easy. Okay, so we've done the basics on our 707 fuselage, and that's off to the side drying. And we'll bring that back in a bit. So what we're going to do is we had this car body that we had sprayed with Mission Models red paint over pink primer. Now, just speaking to that briefly, whenever you spray red, you want to spray over a pink primer so you can get the true red. But let's see what happens here and show you what happens when you spray chrome over red. See the difference. Same technique, same basic principle. We're going fast. Try and keep the videos as short as we can, but it's not always easy to do so. Because the red is dark, it may take numerous passes. And again, we want to let it dry just like we did on the other piece. Same principle. Just try and get in all different angles. And we're probably not going to necessarily get perfect coverage in this, since we're just going fast to kind of show you what'll happen. Like we always say, we're not building contest quality models in these demonstrations. It's just to show you how things work. So let's let this dry for a moment and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've let this dry for a few minutes, and you can see how it's coming along. One thing we want to mention, this car body, for example, we've had laying around in the shop for quite some time. It's not a perfect finish. Again, your end result will be based on your initial prep work. How well did you prepare the body, the sanding of your primers, filling any sinkholes, anything of that nature. But the point of what we're doing here is, again, to demonstrate the types of finishes that you can get and how to use it. Again, we're spraying at about 10 to 15 psi approximately. You can, from a distance, a few inches away, in different random angles. If you start going on too heavy, you will end up with silver paint. You will end up losing what you're trying to achieve. But again, we always say, doing these types of finishes takes time, practice, patience, trial and error. And we're gonna hit it again. We didn't let it dry, but why not? Just keep going. Take your time. I mean, when we say take your time, go slower than what we're doing. We're just trying to show you the basic techniques and do it quickly to try and keep the videos short. So as we get ready to wrap up this quick video, we're going to show you one other thing that you can do with the chrome. We can tint it. So what we're going to do is we are going to take an epoxy mixing cup, which we always use. We are going to add 30 drops. Again, we always like to use 30 drops. It's just a good spot. It gives us a substantial amount of paint to work with. All right, so there's, you can see the consistency of the chrome. Now what we're going to do is, for example, we're going to take our MMP 048. This is just our standard blue. We do have other blues, and you can tint the chrome with any of our colors. And this is something you can do. Use your best judgment to achieve the finish that you want. So we're adding here 1, 2, 3, 4. We added 4 drops. You see that in there? Stir it up. Look at that. Okay. Now when you add paint to the chrome, you are changing the makeup of it. So you're not going to get, you know, a true chrome, but you're going to get an awesome finish. So let's go ahead and just spray it on, see what happens. Again, we're experimenting. We'll just spray right onto this car, see what happens. Okay, spray a little bit through, always test. And let's, I don't know, just go ahead and nice even passes. Look at that. Boom. If you want it to be darker, you go on, I shouldn't say heavier, but more passes. The more you build up, the darker it's going to get. And again, model building, like we always say, is about problem solving, experimenting. The only way you can achieve what you want is by experimenting and experience, practice, and patience. So let's let this dry for a moment real quick off camera. We'll be right back. We'll add one more quick dusting. Okay, so we've let this dry off camera for now a few minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add just one more quick dusting. One thing we can do is we can clear coat this, give it more pop, nice deep wet look. And for you car modelers out there, our clear coats are awesome. They are automotive grade. Once they're thoroughly cured, you can use rubbing compounds on them, carnauba waxes, without burning through to your base coat. What's interesting about this finish, and we're just experimenting here, is that we can still see some of the red showing through, so it gives you kind of a candy sort of color shifting kind of look. It's very interesting. Perfect for, like we said, perfect for sci-fi, Gundam, I mean really anything, motorcycles, you name it. Do a little green tint, blue tint, red tint. that's our paint. That was 30 drops to do that. That's all we needed. If we wanted to go darker, we could add more blue or just keep adding more layers. So basically, modeling takes time. We say this each and every time in every single Solitary video. It takes time, patience, experience, practice. People can tell you how to do it, but the only way to really do it is by being hands-on and experimenting. With the Chrome, it's easy, but again, it takes time, practice, patience, and dedication. There is no product on the market that will just do it for you. You need to take your time. Look at this beautiful 707 fuselage. Have fun when you're modeling. Use it to relax. You get frustrated, put it down and walk away. We all make mistakes. And like we said in our last video, if you don't make mistakes, you won't learn, you won't get better. Many people out there have been doing this for years upon years upon years. We've been doing it for years upon years upon years, and we still make mistakes. It's just the nature of what we're doing here. And I'm sitting here polishing this out. Just keep going and going and going. Look at that. It's beautiful. If we wanted, we could then go back in later and we could add other metallic panels, really do some awesome stuff, a little duraluminum in here. Anyhow, just kind of rambling on. I'd like to thank you. We hope you learned something here. Again, be patient, take your time, enjoy your hobby, create your own signature and your own style, and you'll reap the benefits of what you spend hours upon hours doing. Again, thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.